Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to make another video about Karl Marx. This time, I'm going to focus on a very famous theory that was founded by Karl Marx, namely conflict theory. If you are new to this channel, my name is Frank Zhu, and I'm a college professor teaching sociology, history, and philosophy. I'm also an award-winning landscape photographer. Those of you who have watched my previous videos about Karl Marx should have a rough idea about conflict theory. It is one of the three most important theories in social sciences, the other two being functionalism and symbolic interactionism. Although Karl Marx never called himself a sociologist, he is among the most significant social thinkers in modern history. His ideas about society and social development formed the basis of conflict theory, which is also known as the conflict perspective. Ever since him, conflict theory has been extremely influential and widely used in social sciences by researchers and by professors like me to explain a wide range of social phenomena. Today, I'd like to elaborate a bit more on this theory by explaining to you how Marx and his followers viewed and explained different aspects of society, and how they would answer these questions, such as how social stability is maintained, why there are crimes, why there are poor people, etc. After watching this video, please let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. As the name suggests, this theory is all about conflicts. Conflict theorists view society as full of competition among individuals and different groups. Those individuals and groups fight with one another for limited resources such as money, property, commodities, and more. People also compete for non-material resources such as social status and power. In the conflict perspective, how society keeps order, develops, and changes is not a result of solidarity or social consensus as advocated by other social scientists, but a result of competition. In the process of the competition, some individuals or groups obtain more access to resources than others. Consequently, conflicts arise between those who have more and those who have less, or those who have none at all. Those who have obtained the greatest political, economic, and social resources will come to power and dominate others. Those who have nothing will always try to overthrow the existent order. As a result, conflicts are everywhere and never-ending, and may take the form of revolutions. Even within the family, for example, conflicts exist between the spouses and between parents and children because of their unequal access to resources. According to Karl Marx, inequality is the only reason for conflicts. Unlike other sociologists who view unequal distribution of resources as beneficial to society, conflict theorists see social and economic inequality as inherently unfair. According to Marx, poor people are poor not because they are less intelligent or less hardworking as suggested by other theories. They are poor only because the rich and privileged groups use their social position and political power for their own betterment and will do everything to prevent the poor from getting rich. For example, set up all kinds of restrictions to make it difficult for poor people to receive good education and get good jobs. They make and enforce laws to oppress the poor. They also control the mass media and education, by which they promote their own values, hoping to convince poor people that their privileges are legitimate. However, when poor people realize that they are being treated unfairly, they will revolt against the existing power structure. For example, they will go on strike, a phenomenon which becomes more and more frequent as more inequality is produced. Conflicts are therefore inevitable. In the conflict perspective, conflicts have existed consistently throughout history ever since private property came into being and different social classes appeared. The conflicts between the rulers and the ruled were what Marx called class struggle. Marx and his followers believe that it is the class struggle that drives society to change. For example, the class struggle between slaves and slave owners in the feudal society eventually led to the feudal society being overthrown and replaced by capitalist society. In the capitalist society, the class struggle between the capitalists and the working class people will create more and more conflicts, which will escalate to such an extent that political revolutions will break out. Revolutions will eventually lead to the collapse of capitalist society. Conflict theories hold that all major social changes are a result of revolutions. Now, you may ask, in a society full of conflicts, how do you keep social order? According to conflict theory, social order and social stability is maintained by coercion and power. When society remains stable, it is not because members of society consider themselves as brothers and sisters, or they follow certain religious teachings. Political, social, and economic institutions such as the army, police, and other government agencies are tools by the rich people to dominate the poor. Under their rule, poor people are forced to conform to the regulations and laws. In the conflict perspective, the only reason for people not committing crimes is a fear of being put into prison, not because they have high morality or they agree not to harm each other. Speaking of crimes, conflict theorists also argue that crimes are a result of a social and economic inequality. According to conflict theory, when poor people get on the brink of starvation, they have no choice but to commit crimes, such as stealing. Besides, the widening gap between the haves and the have-nots is a major reason for the increasingly high crime rates. As rich people get richer, they become more afraid of poor people. As rich people control the legal system by making laws, they will define as crimes anything they think will threaten their privileges, no matter how petty it is. For example, those who steal, regardless of what reason, are considered as thieves and will be arrested because they threaten the property of the rich. On the other hand, the powerful and the wealthy are able to avoid being identified as criminals by actually changing what is considered as criminal. They can do so by changing laws or changing public perception through the mass media and education. The rich and the powerful, of course, are aware of the potential danger of revolts by the poor if they realize the real reasons for their poverty. So the rich will do everything to make the poor people believe that it is their own fault being poor. Religion, for example, was created by the rich for this purpose. Many religions teach their believers that the reason for their suffering in this life is all because of their bad behavior in the previous life. So, poor people only have themselves to blame for being poor. Religion is also used as a tool to keep the poor people happy because religion diverts the poor people's attention from their current problems, hope for a better life in another world. Religion is able to do this by promising rewards in the afterlife if believers behave themselves. That is, if believers happily accept their fate and won't fight against their rulers. It is in this sense that Marx famously said that religion is the opium of the people, meaning that religion is like opium that makes the sick, the injured, and the poor people forget about their suffering and provides them with pleasant illusions. Well, that is all that I wanted to talk about today. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.